We're talking about how what you wear affects your mood. Speaking of what you're wearing, what are you wearing around your bump these days? How you feeling? How are you fitting in clothes? Let's just start
Ugh,
there.
well, I'm definitely in full-on maternity wear. I have these baggy t-shirts that I wear at night to sleep, and I look like a hillbilly in them because half my belly sticks out.
I like it. Oh
That's
my,
that's the fashion. I feel very fortunate that I can work from home because the thought of putting on real clothes ever again, honestly, is daunting.
now how let's talk about maternity clothes for a second because now you're getting up there, right? So you're 32 weeks, you still have quite a few weeks to go, knock on wood, hopefully, another 30, 40 weeks. And did you make an investment into maternity clothes, and what did you buy? Like, did you say, okay, I'm going to buy two pairs of stretchies, a pair of jeans, one outside outfit, because of the time that we're in right now where people really aren't going out much? How did you plan your maternity wardrobe?
I didn't really. Yeah, it was hard not being able to try anything on. I've
Mhm.
never been pregnant before, so I've never
Yeah.
done the maternity clothes shopping thing. So I just got a few staples. I got like four t-shirts, a couple nicer shirts, and then two pairs of compression leggings and two pairs of regular leggings and a pair of yoga pants. No, like legit pants whatsoever.
All right. You don't need Are you gonna buy some, like, nice springy dresses now?
Probably not.
You're just like, "This is it. Half a t-shirt
Yeah,
it is. I'm gonna waddle around the house. I'm doing good."
exactly. I'm definitely in the waddling phase. So when I
Okay.
when I go outside, it's like to get the mail. That's my walk for the day. So no
That's
no
good.
need to get all fancy for walking to the
No.
mailbox.
No mailbox. Well, you never know. There's probably people who get fully dressed, but yeah,
I'm
that's,
not one of them. I wear my PJs and bathrobe and my belly belt to go get the mail.
that's all that you need. Oh, my friend, you're almost there. You're really in the home stretch. So I delivered next week, just so you know. I do not anticipate you having that issue, but just so you know, like, you're doing really, really good to not have had really any bumps in the road. It's really nice to hear that good things happen. And I think a lot of people assume that when they have a multiple birth pregnancy, that there's just going to be more challenges than usual. And sure, there can be, but you're having a pretty okay time. What has been some of the like successes that you thought maybe you weren't going to have, or maybe something that you didn't think that was going to happen that ended up happening?
Um, yeah, I guess I didn't anticipate feeling decent for so long. I mean, I've definitely had stretches where I felt not good, and
Mhm,
I talked on a previous conversation with you about like
mhm.
round ligament pain and back pain. Had a really bad stretch with that, and haven't been very mobile for a while. But overall, I'm not feeling miserable. I even went in to see my OB, and she's like, "I know you're miserable," and I was like, "Actually, I'm not. Like, I'm
See?
not comfortable, but I wouldn't call myself miserable." So
Yeah.
I can keep rallying. We did have a growth ultrasound 3 weeks ago, and
Okay.
the babies are on the small side.
Okay.
One of them is under the 10th percentile, which
Okay.
triggers then additional monitoring.
Okay.
So I am going in now twice weekly for non-stress tests,
Okay.
which is actually not a bad deal if anyone ever has to do one. You basically just lie on a table, and
Mhm.
they hook heart rate monitors up to your belly, and they watch what the baby's heart rates are consistently, track their movement, and see how their heart rates respond to their movement. So I just lie on a table for like 25, 30 minutes, and while they watch the babies, and I have a little clicker that I hit every time they move. And
Okay.
yeah, it's good peace of mind to know that everybody's healthy.
Mhm.
Lots of doctor's appointments. So I'm again very grateful that I have flexibility with work to be able to accommodate that.
See, it's just great. I think, like, a lot of times people hear more about the traumatic pregnancies and, back and forth to the hospital and dehydration and all that stuff. Like, really, that's the only thing that I remembered was the round ligament pain and the back pain, which is pretty typical as your body's growing. Are you still having issues with that, or do you feel like you've kind of plateaued for a while?
I hope I've plateaued for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's just, I just feel large and like I'm lugging my body around everywhere I go, and getting up is like a three-stage process. But
Could we see how big you are? Would you be mad at
sure,
us?
yeah.
Uh,
Give
I
me a
know
minute to
that
get up.
okay, we'll give you 45 minutes to get up. But, yeah, since you usually have a cat near you or on you, and then I never wanna bother you because I don't wanna bother the cat.
Yeah, he's
But then I
lurking on the floor right now. He's very confused because he can't really fit on my lap between me and my desk anymore.
oh, you're doing great. So this is one of your maternity shirts, or
Yeah,
this is just a t-shirt that you stretched?
yeah. This is my maternity shirt, and then I have some
Okay.
compression leggings on.
Okay. Oh my gosh, good. Amy's happy. I love that. Yes. Did your little belly button pop?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, it kind of freaked me out the other day. I noticed that it's not in the center of my belly anymore. It's kind of like tweaked off to one side.
Now, how about watching the like, feeling them move and stuff? Do you feel that since you're getting up there now, do you feel like they're running out of room or they're still having full on Olympics?
They're still pretty active. Yeah,
Okay.
I imagine them like pushing each other back and forth, like "Don't touch me, get over there," because one of them will like do a big roll or something, and then the other one will seems like they're responding, which is kind of fun.
Oh, that's good. Do you know where they always are? Do you know where like A is and B is? And are their temperaments staying the same?
Yeah, they're pretty consistent. I know where they are in general. Some of the movements are kind of like in the middle, so
Mhm.
could be by name when they move and telling them hi.
Oh my gosh. So your family knows the names. Nobody's argued with you about them.
Nobody knows the names. We haven't told
Nobody
anyone
does.
yet.
That's I remember that. I was like, okay, but if you're saying that, like, is it out of the bag now? I was curious. So you're calling them by names, but are you sure that you have the right name for the right baby?
We're pretty sure because there was a sign from the universe. A song came on named the name of one of the babies the first time that my husband felt the kick on that
Jolene.
side. So
That's it.
that pretty much sealed it.
Now, Amy has a question. She says so she is watching right now on the YouTubes, and she said, "Have you had any less glamorous or not talked about pregnancy symptoms?"
Great question. Nosebleeds, lots of nosebleeds, which was super weird and surprising, but apparently it's pretty common
Yep.
because increased blood flow and all your capillaries and everything are like just ready to burst, essentially.
Was that during your first trimester only, or you're still having it now? Was it a winter thing, you think? Or, I mean, it is very typical in pregnancies, and it is one of those things that, you're not, you worry, like, is this happening? But it happens to a lot, especially twin parents. So, did you notice that anything helped it or made it worse?
Um, it usually happened when I was in the shower, and I've been really congested also, and I tend to be congested anyway and have some
Yeah.
allergy issues. So I do a nasal flush every evening in the shower, and that
Okay.
often made my nose bleed. So it was kind of a like double-edged sword. Like I want to breathe, so I got to clear out stuff there, but then it starts my nose bleeding, and then that clogs up my nose too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of a challenging. I haven't had one in, knock on wood, maybe like 3 weeks, but I feel like
Okay.
every time I've said that, like I'm done with the nosebleeds, then I'll get one.
But they're not, are they like super bad that you're calling people for help, or is it just like, ugh, it's happening again?
Just kind of like some drippage, nothing
Okay.
like huge gushes, nothing concerning.
And so Amy's got another question. I love it. I imagine. Amy, tell us how pregnant you are, by the way. I have a hunch that she's close to you. But what about gastrointestinal issues? So a lot of moms do get reflux and a lot of people get, like really just weird heartburn. Have you had any of that before or now, or, what's going on with your guts?
Nothing in the like reflux realm, thankfully. Definitely some constipation and just like general like upset stomach.
Yeah.
Every time for a stretch, every time I ate, I would feel kind of like I'd eaten something bad.
Yeah.
Um, not morning sickness. This was well out of the first trimester, but
Yeah.
just yeah, it just didn't feel like it settled well. I don't know if it's just the process of things taking longer to work their way through my digestive system because there's babies squishing it. But yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of some weird feeling, constipation, a lot of gas. Pregnancy can be very gassy.
Isn't that the best part? I mean, it's such a joy to be pregnant. Ah, good times. It
I
really is. I
know.
mean, it's amazing what happens to you, but like everything, every organ in your body is affected, even like your hair and nails. Like it's nothing goes untouched. Now, with the constipation, did they give you a stool softener or tell you to take Miralax, or did you just like, I'm going to modify my diet and see what we could do?
Yeah, it wasn't real serious, thankfully.
Okay,
So
good.
I didn't need any intervention. Just yeah, try to eat lots of fiber and yeah.
Yeah. Now, how are you eating now that the babies are getting bigger and your stomach area is getting kind of smaller for food? How has that been going? Are you able to eat like a normal portion of food, or are you grazing still throughout the day? What's been your meals like?
I'm grazing, but I'm eating a lot too. I definitely
Okay.
went through that phase where I felt like I was hungry all the time, but I couldn't eat more than like a few bites
Yeah.
without feeling full. And I seem to, at least for now, have gone the opposite extreme. I'm just hungry all the time, and I just want to eat all of
Good.
the things, which is
Good.
good. Yeah,
Very, very
I hope
good.
they're growing. Like I'm feeding you girls enough. Like you should be growing. Next growth ultrasound is next week. So
So did the doctor specifically say to you that your diet is going to have a direct reflection on their growth? Or this was something that you're like, this just makes sense, or I'm starving?
mostly listening to my body. Yeah, knowing that I'm really hungry. But I did earlier on in pregnancy basically get ordered to eat more
Yeah.
and fatten up. So I've been taking that very seriously.
Very, very good. Now, speaking of meals, have you thought about any type of meal planning when the babies get here? Like I know that around this week, since most people are typically mobile, they start preparing freezer meals and, crock pot bags and stuff like that. Have you given much thought about post-delivery meals?
We've got quite a bit in the freezer. Yeah, and
Okay.
every time, really over the last few weeks, every time we've made a big vat of casserole or pasta or something, we'll just double the recipe and throw half in the freezer. So
Good.
that was really good advice that I've gotten from other folks who've been through pregnancy and just wanting to, not have to worry about that after they're born.
Oh, excellent. Good. Now, the other thing that we really kind of recommend that people take a look at is, have you had a conversation with your doc yet about pain management, both during labor and post delivery?
I have not.
So, just since you're going there, it's just a good idea because every patient, yes, gets treated with like, a typical script, and this is just what happens. However, there are things that I don't know if Julie mentioned it during the class, but there's something called Exparel that if you did end up having a C-section could be added to the surgery. And it's like a long lasting pain medication that actually gets injected. It was initially used in orthoscopic, like sports medicine, and so now for like the past 10 years, they've been using it in C-sections, but as weird as it is, it's still not really like that known about. So bringing up something about a long-lasting pain medication after delivery, whether it is a vaginal with a little bit of tearing or whether it is a C-section, obviously you're going to need something more there. But if you're the type of person, I mean, I imagine you're pretty tough with the background that you have, but just this is for general people, no matter how tough you think you are, have a plan B. So if you're like, I won't take, a Tylenol if my eyeball's falling out. Sure, you could be, that rough and tumble. However, don't necessarily say that to your doctor, because then if your eyeball was falling out and you're like, I need more than a Tylenol, they'll be like, well, you told us. So come up with a few different pain management strategies and just tell them what you're comfortable, with your pain management on a regular basis, even pre-pregnancy, and exactly, kind of what you want your plan to be for after. And you know what's really crazy, Lauren? I've noticed that it's not even like per state, it's even per hospital. I was under the impression that there was kind of this universal system of pain management post delivery. However, I don't know if I'm just speaking to more people right after they deliver now that I'm helping so many people with breastfeeding, but it's totally all over the board. Some people are still doing, super duper pain meds. Some people are like no more than Tylenol after. So have a conversation with your doctor so that there's no surprises. That should happen at your next visit. You're kind of getting up there, which is good. Now, have you given much thought to kind of those first visits home? Like, what's going to be your strategy with family as the world is opening up again? Are you starting to have conversations that you're going to allow people to come be with you and your hubs and the babies? So what's going on with that? Because you've been like in the eye of the storm since you conceived. And now that the world is evolving, how do you feel about this? And how are you making any changes towards having more people come to see the babies?
We're still being very cautious. I had my first COVID vaccine a couple weeks ago. I get my next one a week from Monday. So both
Very good.
excited and nervous about that. I have some friends who've been totally wiped out by the second dose. So not looking forward to that, but looking forward to feeling some peace of mind.
Yes.
And my parents are both vaccinated. My husband's parents are both vaccinated. They live in Massachusetts, but we'd like to get them out here at some point. So we are definitely wanting
Good.
visitors and wanting help really more than visiting time. But we haven't figured out the nuances of that yet.
Okay.
If we want, a week or two, just the two of us first to bond and kind of start to figure things out and then call in reinforcements at that point. We're still having those discussions.
Okay. Now, how much time is he going to get off? How much time do you like get off, like really time off, not like I'm going to work from home for 2 hours? Like, what is your paternity and maternity plan for work wise?
We're both taking 12 weeks.
Okay.
Washington State is actually very generous with maternity and paternity leave. So we are fortunate to be able to take advantage of that.
Very good. So now that you got 12 weeks, all right, we know that this is awesome for me. Do you have like, a lot of people you have so many things planned for your pregnancy, and then we're going to make plans for delivery. Have you and him had some discussions about what your life may be like after the delivery? Like, if you did end up having a C-section, you're going to be limited with driving and limited, going up steps, depending on, how you're feeling and depending on how many steps you got. But have you thought about like, okay, we have to come up with a strategy that when these babies get home, this is what we're going to do. Did you start talking about a post-delivery strategy, just you and him for the 12 weeks? Or are you going to be like, let's wing it and just see where the wind takes us?
Kind of somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
We talked about it, but not extensively at this point. We live in a split level, so the entire upper floor is where the kitchen and our bedroom and the nursery is. So
Okay.
I'm planning on just residing in that zone for the foreseeable future. Any
Okay,
kind of
good.
errands or stairs walking, that'll be up to him.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just speaking to a family that had their twins a few days ago, and they were trying to come up with everything on the fly. And it's not, I mean, that's not a bad way to do things, but the negative of that was she was not up to holding up her end of the deal. And their plan was that she was going to carry the heavy weight and that he was going to be a support person. So, I mean, I think it would be ideal if both of you were just ready to be the main person so that whoever it is could just pick it up and be like, okay, are you good with changing diapers? Are you good with, baths if necessary? Are you good with making dinner? Like you have to be 100% on, and I may just need to be on the couch for, 30 hours a day. So that's realistic. But I mean, I felt bad for them because, and they were a military family too. So I was like, oh, they're going to get this. Like they have this. They're so like scheduled and wonderful, but the schedule just went off the rails because she wasn't able to do her pieces of the schedule. So start having conversations and be like, okay, like not saying that delivery is out of your control because it's really not out of your control, But instead of like, if you do have an opportunity to have like a heart to heart conversation, say, okay, let's just try to make a plan. You're more of a morning person. I'm more of a night owl. You are better at doing this. I'm better at doing this. How could we make our strengths work to the betterment of our babies? So just really start thinking about it, because my heart breaks when I speak to a family in that first week and they're just losing it. I'm like, just try to plan. Of course, it could go awry, but it's still good to have a little bit of a plan. So now this week, do you still have, first of all, how's the bathroom renovation going? Let's just find out.
We're making progress.
Okay. Are there tiles on the walls yet?
No.
Okay. Sounds good. You're getting there, though. Is there a usable toilet bowl?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that was my big caveat for him. I was like, if I have a
Okay.
C-section and I'm sleeping in the nursery, I'm not, going into the other room to use the bathroom. I need to be able to use this toilet. So
Good. And do you have a sink as well, or do you have to go into the kitchen to wash your
there's a
hands?
sink. Yes.
Then you're fine. You need nothing else in that bathroom. That's all. Then that bathroom is done as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if you can see the studs
I would
in the
love
wall.
to be able to use the bathtub to bathe the babies.
That would be good.
My husband actually mentioned the other day, like, we can bathe them in the kitchen sink, and I was like, you realize we'd have to clean the kitchen sink
I
to
know,
be the
but
right.
one, that's the best part of bathing the babies
Yeah.
in the sink, is that you do have to clean out the kitchen sink, and that's one less thing that you have to worry about after they go to bed. It's like a great little side effect. It totally sucks, but that is exactly what we did, and I realized what a benefit it was because the sink was cleaned every night, and so after the babies went to sleep, it just made the kitchen look clean, even though, of course, the kitchen was still a wreck, but it was sanitary. So that made me feel better. There wasn't, like, smells of tomato soup coming from the sink, or little bits of pasta or corn in the drain. It was always super clean for the babies. Oh,
Yeah,
I love
neither of
bathing
us
in the
is
sink.
historically great with the regular sink cleaning, so that'll be a challenge, but yes, perhaps a silver lining
You gotta
of
do
not
it.
having a fully renovated bathroom.
That's it. You gotta do it now. You have no choice. So what are some of the other things that you want to kinda get done, or, what's on the horizon for this week?
Um, Packing hospital bags. So we've got like piles of stuff that is going in the bags, and
Okay.
just cleared out all of our registries. Used those completion discounts to
Good.
get the last items. So like I just got a nice bathrobe that I'm gonna put in my bag, and so we need to do some laundry and like wrapping up those final pieces. Also car seats. That
Okay.
has been on the to-do list for the last couple weeks and has not gotten done yet. So
Okay.
definitely need to get those installed.
Okay. Well, when you get them installed, tell him if he FaceTimes me, I'll give them a once over, and I'll give
Okay.
you guys some pointers. So, and if you don't know, there's a lot of fire departments and police departments that will actually check your car seats for you. But with the pandemic, sometimes it's a little bit harder to get an appointment. So there are virtual people, but I'll do it for you guys. I'm one of the registered people in the United States. So it really is important that you do that, because I'm telling you, no joke, I have never seen somebody that had their car seats installed correctly, ever ever, that I helped. And sometimes it's just something so silly, like there was like a twisted belt, or that it wasn't retracted correctly. But little tiny things could make a huge difference when it comes to the safety of those seats. So yes, I volunteer as tribute. Let me know when I could help you do that. So we got a few tips from people here, and I want to give them a shout out. First of all, we have Afton from Washington too, which is very sweet.
Ooh.
Marnie said the Pooge bathtub. Did you ever look at that? The Pooge is like the flower, Marnie, right? So if you look up, it's PUJ, and it's an insert that you could put into your sink.
Oh,
Yes, that's why I
cool.
love me some sink bathing. Kristen said we had NICU time with our twins. One was in for 2 weeks and one was in for 5. Is that something that you guys are ready to handle if that happens?
Yes, definitely hoping it doesn't, but preparing for, worst case scenario. We celebrate at the end of every week, feeling like,
Good.
maybe that's an extra day off the potential NICU time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we had I think I mentioned last time, a bit of an insurance snafu, because our local hospital does not have a NICU. So in the
Okay.
event we need one, they will transfer us elsewhere, and our
Okay.
insurance was not accepted at that other place. So we've been dealing with that, trying to make sure we're covered, planning
Okay.
for the worst, and hoping we never actually need it.
Okay. So let's just say hypothetically, if they have to get transferred, is it transferred by car or transferred by air?
It would probably be ambulance
Okay. Uh,
unless they need something more
Okay.
urgent.
All right. So then let's say because of this situation, did you guys look up that wrap or the carrier that we were talking, well, I mean, I'm sure Julie mentioned it. For some reason, the name is like literally drawing a blank. I can't believe that that's happening to me because I love this freaking carrier so much. But the name of it's the Aegis, but I think it's got a different name. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up for you too. So carriers, and if you go, by the way, I don't know if you've been there yet, but if you go to our website and then click on Twin Resources and then multiple birth discounts, it sorts everything. And so if you click on the baby carrier discounts, it's going to bring you down. And it's the company is Saplicor. This is what was making my brain spin just now, and it's called the Aegis. And what it is, it's a wrap that is used as a carrier, but the true point of this wrap is for ambulance transport.
Huh.
So it is the only approved device that you can use in an ambulance, because it's so interesting that if they transport a baby, there's really no like seatbelt for a neonate. So having this Aegis wrap, your babies could be easily transported skin to skin the whole way, and then you're protected by the seatbelts that the ambulance provides. So they were really, really generous. It's this woman, Mary, that makes them. And so it's 20% off your order. And they go from 4 to 14 pounds. But I would definitely get two. I would really consider one, but get the one for your husband's size and one for your size. And not only is it great, God forbid they needed to get transferred, it's just good for every day. Like honestly, just wearing them around the house or just laying on the couch and having them kind of tucked in, you'll feel so much better, because if any carrier out there usually starts at 8 pounds. So what do you do before 8 pounds if you want to wear them and you don't feel comfortable, wrapping yourself up? This Aegis wrap really is absolutely fantastic. So take a look at that. Marty said she may know a CPST in Washington, which is a child passenger safety technician. So you may not even need me. Marnie, text me when you know that. So if Marnie has somebody in human form that could come take a look at it, that would be great. But this is why I love our community. We're like the best. Everybody's like, let's do things. Let me help. So yeah, this is a big week. I hope we get to talk to you as much as possible till these babies get here, because every week makes a big, big difference. And this is it. This is it. You're like in the home stretch. This is the most exciting part. If you thought before was exciting, you ain't seen nothing yet, home girl. All right. Anything that's
Exciting and
keeping you up
terrifying.
at night. It's gonna be the best. I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet these babies. I've already named one Jolene, because you said they're named after songs. So I'm gonna just come up with my other names of these kids. So is there anything I could help you with this week that's been pressing on your mind?
No, I think we're in pretty good shape. Just,
Yeah.
yeah, continuing to check things off the to-do list and yeah, keep
Good
these
deal,
kids
girl.
cooking.
You got it. All right. So we'll follow up with you again if you allow us.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys. And if you have questions for me or Lauren, anything about twin pregnancy, delivery, blah, 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 whatever, email us at community@twiniversity.com. You could find us on every social platform just here at Twiniversity. So no matter if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, our website, whatever, we are always here. So reach out to us if you need anything. And until next time, guys, I will see you later, alligator.